So we're going to get into the letter, but this is bigger than the letter. There's really more than just the letter. This goes, it really makes you wonder and question things with our government. And it goes back to Hillary Clinton, a lot of the stuff that she was doing. It goes back to Hunter Biden. This touches on so many different things in so many different areas. And what's so funny about it is a lot of people that call out a lot of these things are always looked at as the conspiracy theorist. Oh, they're just making stuff up. But in all actuality, perhaps we wouldn't have as many conspiracy theorists if it didn't come out certain information where you got CIA, I believe the CIA, we're going to get into it, saying that the Hunter Biden laptop wasn't real, FBI saying that it wasn't real, knowing that they have the laptop. You know what I mean? It's all these different things that come out that make us question, is our government lying to us? If our government will lie to us about something as far as putting it into your body, if they'll lie to us about giving us information about something that we're going to put into our body that could cause bodily harm or death, what else will they lie to us about? What else will they lie to us about? Did they lie to get us into a war after 9/11? What else are they lying about? And Cat Williams said it best, man. Matter of fact, I should bring up a video of Cat Williams. Cat Williams said 2024 is the year of the truth. The truth shall come out. The truth shall come out, and it seems like that's what's happening. You want to know, you know what's so funny? It seems like being real, well, it's always in style. Being real is always in style to people that are real. The majority of us, the majority of people, I would say, we just go with the flow. We're always trying to chase an algorithm rather than to just be where we are, become the best at what we want to do, what we're passionate about, and then eventually the algorithm will find us. We're always chasing the algorithm, so we never catch it in most cases because we're always chasing behind it rather than just standing on who and what we are. And this is what happens. So being real is back in style to a lot of y'all algorithm chasers. This is the year of realness. And the people that are real, the people that are perfectly fine, being objective, calling out certain things from wherever it comes from, calling out that side, calling out this side, calling out anything that opposes truth and realness. That's what's back in style. And that's what we're seeing, whether it's Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know whether he got some information from, I don't know, maybe another platform. You heard what's going on with Telegram. Apparently the Telegram president, he was arrested in Paris. So we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on in France. I believe it was in Paris. Who knows? But we're going to get into it a little bit. Shout out to my big bro, Doug, in the building. And then we also got the star of yesterday's show, IROC Star Inc. Oh, IROC Star Inc. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. IROC wrote, Kennedy wants to make it so that if any government official lies to the public, they lost their job. That's the kind of honesty we deserve from our government. I'm going to, IROC, if you have that clip, because I know exactly what clip, he says it in all of his interviews, says it in all of his press conferences. He says, what will he do on day one? Day one, he will enact that policy that if you are a government official and you lie to the people, if you lie to the public, you will lose your job. Think about that. And IROC, are you familiar with the Smith-Mundt Act? Because we're going to get into a little bit of the Smith-Mundt Act, because this is why RFK Jr. is hated by both sides. So the Smith-Mundt Act, I believe it first came out in 1948. We're going to get into it, but then it was changed during Barack Obama's presidency. It allowed, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit until we actually get into the conversation on the Smith-Mundt Act, but it allowed our government to put out propaganda to everybody outside of the American citizens. Then what was changed in 2013 is then it was allowed for U.S. citizens to access that same propaganda. So what's happening? What do we see happening right now? That happened, I believe, in 2013. Now what we see happening is all of the influence that they've had on the social media platforms. We saw what happened with Twitter. Super grateful for Elon Musk and fighting the battle to create X. We see what happens. We're seeing what happens with Facebook and a lot of the meta platforms. These government agencies are pressuring these social media platforms. The very same things, you know, what's so funny? The very same things that we accuse Putin and Russia of, we end up doing ourselves. The very same things. And it makes you wonder, like, is America really what we say we are? Is America really the greatest country in the world? Is America all these things when you have a government that lies to its public, that feeds its public garbage, that does any and everything to keep its public fat, misinformed, or dumb, whatever you want to call it, unhealthy, and unintelligent? Like, this is what the government wants out of us. Or maybe certain people in the government, an overwhelming majority. Because why? Because the overwhelming majority of politicians are controlled by dollars from big corporations. The political parties controlled by dollars from big corporations. The mainstream news outlets controlled by big dollars from big corporations. And then when you throw in the fact that propaganda, we're good with it. How can they allow an RFK Jr. to come in and implement his policy that any government official that lies to the American public will lose their job immediately? How can they allow an RFK Jr. in the White House if he's coming in saying, like, yo, there's going to be transparency, we're unsealing the documents for JFK, we're unsealing all. The truth is coming to light. We are going to see what our government is really about. We are going to see who our government is controlled by. We're going to see our government agendas, whose hands is in whose pocket, as we follow this money trail. As we follow this money trail. So, which one happened under Bush? The Smith-Mundt Act? No, the Smith-Mundt Act was under Obama. Yeah, the Smith-Mundt Act was definitely under Obama. I'll tell you the exact date, actually. Hold on. The Smith-Mundt Act. 1 second. So it was amended in 2012. Yeah, it was created, called the U.S. Information and Educational Exchange Act of 1948, commonly known as the Smith-Mundt Act. And then it was amended in 2012 based on this. So that's when I guess it was called the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. So it was changed a little bit, but we got a lot to talk about. We're going to get into Mark Zuckerberg. Let me put my phone on silent. Welcoming all y'all feedback. Please give me your feedback. What are y'all thinking? Does this make you nervous? Does this make you nervous when Mark Zuckerberg comes out and says that the Biden-Harris administration was pressuring us to censor certain things that did not align with their agenda when it came to COVID? Does it scare you when Mark Zuckerberg comes out and says that they demoted articles regarding Joe Biden before the election for no reason? And that he acknowledges that it was now a mistake because he was getting pressure from their administration. How does this make you feel? That the very party, the Democratic Party, right? The party of the people, democracy, is getting caught lying to us, hiding information, censoring information, misleading us. How do we feel about that? And you know what's funny? We are in such a toxic political cycle that none of this will even matter. That none of this will even matter. We will sit here. You can break it down. I'll give you a challenge for today. I challenge everybody to have a conversation with it, whether you're Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. Or independent. Have a conversation with a Democrat and tell them all these things. Tell them all these things and pay attention to their body language, pay attention to their facial expressions, pay attention to everything. See how they respond to it and see if they care. See if they even acknowledge it. See how long they can go without mentioning something about Trump lying or Trump doing this. Well, but what about the other side? That's a great challenge for us. And this is what I'm saying. We have to get out of this mindset The government wins when we are in this mindset where it's Democrat versus Republican. It's not Democrat versus Republican. It's establishment versus anti-establishment. It's truth versus lies. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So I'm not saying that, like, and this is why I say it's not about Democrat versus Republican. We can sit down, sensible, logical people that we love, people that we would do anything for, people that we trust. We can sit down and give them the information. And just because the relationship between Democrats and Republicans is so polarizing, so toxic, and so emotionally based, they will totally disregard it. It does not matter. People are not searching for information. People are searching for emotional validation so they can walk around and feel good and feel proven that what they thought and what they said is correct. And that's just not the case. It's not the case. And it's getting exposed. So for all the Democrats that say all these things about Donald Trump being corrupt, that spewed all these things about the Russian hoax, that Hillary Clinton, that it came out that she just made this stuff up without having any shred of real evidence on it. Of when they said, remember when Hillary Clinton came out and said that Donald Trump was tied to the Alpha Bank, the Russian bank that is very friendly to Putin and oligarchs. Sorry, I don't know if it's oligarchy or the oligarchs. Do y'all remember this? It was all BS. It was all BS. And what a lot of Democrats will do, they'll come out and say, well, James Comey, he exposed this before the election. Yeah, well, if that's wrong, then what about this side? And that's what I'm starting to realize. People do not care. People are not looking for what's righteous and what's justice. People are looking to feel better. People are looking for an easy way to win. There's no way